We've got a lot in the first half, but before we do anything else, can I introduce to you our referee for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, our senior referee for All Star South. From Bournemouth, would you welcome Mr. Roger Sears? My name is Lee Bamber. It's my pleasure to present for you the matches tonight in lesser promotions, of which there are many. You will start off with a very simple match to get you in the mood. We start off with what every other promoter would put in as the top of the bill. Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 6-man elimination tag match. And that's what we're going to start with tonight. So if you're ready, we're ready. Let's meet the wrestlers. Let's have a great night. Match number 1, tag team time.
Oh boy, are we ready, Lee Bamber. Thank you very much to 40 years of unparalleled excellence in our sport. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aaron Nix, the voice of All-Star Wrestling South. And whoa, boy, do we have a doozy for you here. A 6-man elimination tag team matchup to open up Volume 8, The Last Dance. And as you can probably tell just from looking at the screen, the big, the bad, the technical assassin, Brandon Lee, is on his way to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Lee, of course, the ultimate thorn in the side of ASW South management, and in particular, Joel Redman. There he is, 6'4", 250 pounds of pure technical brutality is Brandon Lee. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget this is an elimination tag team matchup until there is just one team remaining. It will be pinfall or submission to determine an elimination.
Contestant number 1, back from recent tours, including a stint in Japan. The technical assassin himself, Brandon Lee.
An absolute leviathan of the sport, but none more so than potentially one of his tag team partners this
Brandon
evening.
is number 1. Let's meet contestant number 2.
Well, this is a rather unique tag team to say the very least, but there's a very good reason why these 3 men have joined forces tonight. Looking to dispatch 3 men that they believe are in the way of their desired excellence, their desired opportunity to be the very best. These 3 men on this team alone believe that they are the spine of All-Star Wrestling South. If you don't believe me, you can certainly just ask this man himself. They don't come more brash, more cocky, more arrogant than the pure perfectionist himself.
Wrestling royalty, pure perfection. You are in the presence of greatness. You are in the presence of William Hudson Alexander Moore.
Well, you might think that's a mouthful, but honestly, they don't come more brash, more arrogant, but more technically sound.
Number 3.
Well, we have the technical assassin, we have royalty, and now we have brute force, for my estimation, the most dangerous man on the British wrestling landscape. It's time to release the beast. I mentioned Leviathan, and they don't come much bigger than the ungrateful Southpaw, the beast of the Southeast, the ultimate street fight, Lucian Phillips, raw power, raw devastation.
The wrecking ball himself, the crusher of dreams, Lucian Phillips.
The crusher of dreams. It's right, Lucian Phillips is looking to dismantle 3 men here.
That is team number 1. Let's meet number 2.
Well, Lucian Phillips, dare I say, is in an extremely good mood because he's looking forward to hurting people. It's the only time I've ever seen him happy. But speaking of happy, speaking of being in a good mood, the absolute definition of Caribbean charisma. Ain't no bum way. Tell them who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome back one of the most popular men to ever step foot into a wrestling ring. Wanna talk about 5-star shape with a 5-star personality, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't nobody more charismatic in this business. Ain't nobody more exciting to watch than Smashing Mike, who has rapidly become one of the all-time favourites here at ASW South in no short order, thanks to some stunning performances.
Well, now, folks, athleticism, charisma, he's got it all from London, Smashing Mike.
The ultimate package is often referred to in professional wrestling, but this man legitimately is. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but this truly is the 5-tool player of professional wrestling.
Middle name. Let's meet one of his tag partners.
Well, this is quite a unique and eclectic tag team, to say the very least. Three of the biggest egos, the most destructive egos in the sport, versus three of the most unique, and like I say, eclectic individuals, including this man right here, the flexing football, Benjamin Stone, who's had a wonderful change of heart as of late, and finds himself now, particularly in the eye of fans, as one of the more underrated technical wrestlers in the world today.
He is the pocket Hercules from Bournemouth, the Pitbull, Benjamin Stone.
Well, I'd agree with that assessment. Talk about being in wicked shape. I mean, Benjamin Stone looks better and better every time you see him.
And finally,
well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Benjamin Stone, we have Smashing Mike, but someone you may not be familiar with, making his debut tonight. Arguably the biggest prospect now coming out of the ASW South training school. The academy has never seen something quite like not your average Joe Dale, a man that I've had the distinct pleasure of training with, working with, spending time with. I've spoken to Joe Dale on numerous occasions, and particularly in the build-up to this matchup. This is his first dance. The show might be called the last dance, but for Joe Dale, this is the first dance, the first opportunity.
and competitor number 6 from Swindon, by day a marketing manager at Xbox, but he's not playing games tonight. It's down to business in his main show debut. Welcome, Joe Dale.
Could not tell you how excited I am to see this young man inside the
Eliminations tag match.
main show ring.
Keeps getting involved, and good luck to Roger.
Well, good luck to Roger Sears indeed, and of course our head official, as always, the best in the game, Roger Sears. And it looks like Smashing Mike, Joe Dale, Benjamin Stone are going to light up this cannon. Unsurprisingly, as the bell rings, the cheap shots have begun. This team of Lucian Phillips, William Hudson, Alexander Moore and Brandon Lee is looking to dismantle the good vibes and the good times, and they seem to have zeroed in on Joe Dale, unsurprisingly looking to test the rookie's patience, test his strength coming in to this matchup. Vicious Irish whip into the corner and a lariat right across the throat from Lucian Phillips, the hardest hitting individual in all of British professional wrestling. Irish whip back into the other corner, and poor Joe Dale being whipped from pillar to post. Now Lucian Phillips sending his own tag partner, William Hudson, Alexander Moore, crashing into what they perceive to be an undeserving rookie. And now Brandon Lee has the legal tag. What this is he's going to have every single bit of skill available to try and maintain some form of order. 6-man elimination tag team matchup, and already, as I've mentioned, Alexander Moore taking full advantage of Brandon Lee's distraction, and now Smashing Mike and Benjamin Stone, albeit with good nature, desperately need to get out of the ring, because Joe Dale is already in serious trouble here. He seems to have been isolated, and understandably so. You go after the rookie too if you were in their shoes, and Lucian Phillips is desperate to test the mettle of not your average Joe Dale. Scoop slam applied with aplomb by the beast from the southeast. Cover 2 count only, says referee Roger Sears. Check out the cross cam replay. Great to have you back, buddy. Beautiful scoop slam there. Raw power. Vicious vicious clubbing blow to the back from Lucian Phillips, who is stalking Joe Dale. And Joe Dale trying to fight out from underneath, and you do not want to be throwing hands. Case in point with Lucian Phillips, the most devastating left hand in the history of our sport. The unbreakable southpaw just headbutting Joe Dale right between the eyes, sends him right back into the corner. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is premium tag team psychology. Isolate one individual in your corner in no man's land. Double back elbow from Alexander Moore. And now Alexander Moore dropping the elbow across the chest of Joe Dale. Cover once again. 2 count. Joe Dale able to kick out. And already some frustration starting to appear on the face of Alexander Moore. You heard Brandon Lee roaring his disapproval in the background. And Brandon Lee would love nothing more to knock off one of Joel Redmond's prize students from the ASW South Academy in Joe Dale. This like control applied, and now just driving that shoulder into the isolated arm of Joe Dale, looking to knot up the left arm. And for those of you who will not be aware of Joe Dale, perhaps you haven't seen him in some of our stunning student showcases that take place in the early afternoon before these shows. And Brandon Lee just cuts Joe Dale off before he has any chance to build momentum. And you've got to talk about experience. You've got to talk about the lack of big match experience for Joe Dale. He's in there with 3 predators of our sport. And Lucian Phillips now just slowly, methodically dissecting poor Joe Dale here in our opener at the last dance. And I think he's looking to snap the fingers of Joe Dale. Good God almighty. You think about how violent, how vicious Lucian Phillips is when he's striking you in the face. He quite literally just tried to tear and dislocate the fingers of Joe Dale, square off the hand. And now, once again, Alexander Moore, the legal man, and Roger Sears pleading for a bit of order here as Joe Dale is sent crashing into the turnbuckle once again. And Lucian Phillips and Alexander Moore, understandably so, they know what they're doing, trying to egg on Benjamin Stone, smashing Mike. Of course, emotion and combat rarely mix well. Beautiful snap suplex there by the pure perfectionist. Cover with the float over and a 2 count only, but Joe Dale slowly but surely being worn down. And this is very, very bad news indeed for the team of Joe Dale, Benjamin Stone and Smashing Mike. Smashing Mike and Benjamin Stone desperately trying to will Joe Dale back into this fight, and the knee cuts him off at the impasse, and he's sent right back into no man's land. And once again, here comes Lucian Phillips. Phillips, oh, beautiful back elbow. Joe Dale got the back elbow up, gives one to Brandon Lee, gets his boot up as well. Joe Dale desperately trying to fight out from here. Rolls through, and now finally a tag is made. And Benjamin Stone gets his first opportunity at the taste of the last dance. Ducks a clothesline. German suplex by the Brexit Pitbull. Look how it is downtown Berlin magic here from Benjamin Stone. And a trifecta of German suplexes have been applied to the opposition. And now looking to send Alexander Moore into the heavens above. And oh, look out. Lucian Phillips looking to build up. And a save. Good God almighty. Decapitation has arrived. Lucian Phillips, the legal man, and Benjamin Stone, just like that, is eliminated.
Benjamin Stone.
Benjamin Stone was in the ring for albeit 30 seconds before Lucian Phillips decided to send him crashing all the way to hell with arguably the most devastating clothesline you'll ever see. And now Smashing Mike is the legal man here. Ducks the clothesline. Smashing Mike looking to build up a head of steam. Beautiful clothesline takes down Alexander Moore. Arm drag applied by Smashing Mike, and a hip toss as well. Tell them, ladies and gentlemen, Smashing Mike, all the charisma, all the energy, all the training as he builds up a head of steam and goes crashing into Alexander Moore in the corner. And now a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of a drop, and now a DDT flush in the middle of the ring. And Alexander Moore has no clue where he is. Brandon Lee looking to get a cheap shot in, gets sent to the outside. Smashing Mike ducks the striking intent once again, and a beautiful full Nelson driver lands Alexander Moore in his head, and just like that, Alexander Moore is eliminated.
And out goes Alexander Moore.
Smashing Mike will spend a little bit too much time, with all due respect, feeling himself after that elimination, and Lucian Phillips will have no problem teeing off. There we go. There's the educated fist I was talking about, and he is just wailing away, destroying Smashing Mike in front of this sold-out studio theatre. Uranaki slam in the middle of the ring. Oh boy, Lucian Phillips is pissed. And I tell you what, when Lucian Phillips is pissed, you better get out of the way, because bad things are going to happen. A true nightmare scenario for any professional wrestler in Great Britain today. Powerbomb position, gets him up, and Smashing Mike able to escape. And I do believe there was a blind tag there. Legal tag for Joe Dow. Clothesline for Smashing Mike coming out of the corner. And meanwhile, Joe Dow ascends to the heavens, flying crossbody, once out Lucian Phillips, and Joe Dale has just eliminated Lucian Phillips.
Lucian Phillips must take no further part in the match.
Talk about an upset. Oh my God, and I think the penny has just dropped for Brandon Lee, who has realised it is now 2-on-1. All that mouth, he's going to come back to Hoya. Come on, Lucian Phillips has already been eliminated. And illegally takes a cheap shot, Smashing Mike and Joe Dowd to preserve Brandon Lee's slim advantage. Elimination tag team matchup. Brandon Lee, the only man remaining from his team. Smashing Mike and not your average Joe Dowd still remaining. It doesn't look good right now for Smashing Mike, courtesy of that interference from Lucian Phillips, who will take any opportunity to get a cheap shot. And Brandon Lee says, finish, suplex position, brain buster applied by the technical assassin. Check out the replay on the cross cam of that bad boy. Good God almighty, just drilling the head and neck into the floor. Poor Smashing Mike, who unbelievably is already back to one knee and up to his feet. And how about the resilience, the determination of Smashing Mike, who puts the brakes on and is now swinging for the fences at the technical assassin. Smashing Mike looking to build up a head of steam, gets Irish whip reverse, ducks under the clothesline and delivers one of his own. And Brandon Lee finds himself crashing to the floor once again. Back suplex applied with aplomb. Tell him how it is. Smashing Mike dropping Brandon Lee to the floor, right back to the cross cam. Would you expect anything less? And look at that beautiful elevation, drilling the spine into the floor. Brandon Lee sends Smashing Mike. Oh wow, look at the speed being built up, and a shoulder tackle sends Brandon Lee inside out. Smashing Mike is really starting to build some momentum. He's really starting to feel himself, and he could be zoning in on a victory for his team. And we could have two survivors from that team, of course, in Joe Down, Smashing Mike. Brandon Lee with a lovely arm drag counter, ducks the clothesline, look out, Snapdragon, suplex, oh man, nasty landing for Smashing Mike, and a devil's trigger, that vicious knee lift, square into the chin of Smashing Mike, cover by Brandon Lee, and Smashing Mike is eliminated.
Smashing Mike is eliminated from the tag match.
Well, we are down to 1-on-1, and talk about unfavourable position for our boy Joe Dale. Had a very impressive debut for my money, but now it is 1-on-1, and Joe Dale recognises the seriousness of the situation, and Brandon Lee fancies his chances against not your average Joe Dale. Joe Dale just lighting up Brandon Lee, throwing whatever he can at this absolute monster. My God, a knife-edge chop, and you saw the face of Joe Dale. I'm pretty sure a portion of his soul has just left and gone straight back to Xbox, ladies and gentlemen, and Brandon Lee just stalking Joe Dale. I don't think he's impressed. Another knife-edge chop ripping at the flesh of poor Joe Dale. And a stiff forearm strike right to the chin, and you can see Joe Dale has absolutely no clue what's going on. The eyes are hazed over, and I think he could be looking to apply another suplex, and now beautiful counter. Joe Dale floats over from the back leg lariat, catches Brandon Lee flush. Super kick catches him once again, but he's down to his knees. And a DDT, beautiful low center of gravity, drives the head into the canvas. Joe Dale, talk about an impressive level of offense, and there's that super kick right on the money. Absolutely stunning athleticism from Joe Dale. No chance whatsoever, and oh, come on, Brandon Lee uses the ropes, all legal to be fair, to knock poor Joe Dale off of the top turnbuckle, and Brandon Lee says, we are done here. And now suplex position potentially applied for an Oshi-Goroshi. Joe Dale's spine riveted across the knee of Brandon Lee. Yeah, he's feeling himself now, isn't he? This absolute Leviathan with the personality of a complete scumbag. Let's be honest, we all know just how devastating Brandon Lee is. Brandon Lee prepping for another Devil's Trigger, comes catching. Oh, look how Joe Dale catches him, rolls him up, deep, rolling up, covering Joe Dale! Joe Dale has just won this matchup! Joe Dale has just pinned Brandon Lee in the centre of the ring!
Your winner of this elimination tag, Joe Dale!
I do not believe it. Hats off to this kid. Not your averages, right? Joe Dale has beaten Brandon Lee and is victorious in his debut here at ASW South.
And what a time to make your main show debut. It's a win for Joe Dale.